God, this is bad news, man. Xbox is shutting down Arcane Austin, Tango Gameworks, and 2 other Bethesda studios. Chris Scullion over at VGC. Xbox is reportedly shutting down 4 Bethesda studios, including Redfall developer Arcane. Kind of saw that one coming. Hi-Fi Rush, Tango Gameworks, and more. Arcane, Tango, Alpha Dog, and Roundhouse Games will be closing down, with some staff joining other teams. Staff were told the news over an email by Xbox Game Studios head Matt Booty, according to IGN. Booty told staff the decision was based on reprioritizing its titles and resources, and that while some teams will be realigned to others, layoffs would also be taking place. Quote, "Today, I'm sharing changes we are making to our Bethesda and ZeniMax teams," end quote, Booty's email read. Quote, "These changes are grounded in prioritizing high-impact titles and further investing in Bethesda's portfolio of blockbuster games and beloved worlds, which you have nurtured over many decades. To double down on these franchises and invest to build new ones requires us to look across the business to identify the opportunities that are best positioned for success. This reprioritization of titles and resources means a few teams will be realigned to others, and some of our colleagues will be leaving us," end quote. Booty went on to detail the changes affecting the 4 studios. Arcane Austin, the studio behind Redfall, will close, with some members of the team joining other studios to work on projects across Bethesda. Redfall's previous update will be its last, as we end all development on the game, Booty said. The game and its service will remain online for players to enjoy and will provide make-good offers to players who purchase the Hero DLC. Wonder what that means, Scott. Tango Gameworks.
Is that something that was supposed to come out that had not yet? I'm not familiar with the Redfall situation, but that's awful. If they're closing this before even some of those came to fruition.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how that goes. I haven't followed the DLC. We followed, obviously, the launch of the game. We all know how well that went, or lack of, unfortunately, right? But now this seems to be the repercussions because of this happening and going down, that things are not looking so good right now over at Xbox. Tango Gameworks, previously responsible for The Evil Within, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Hi-Fi Rush, will also close. Dude, I'm baffled on this one. Hi-Fi Rush will continue to be available to players on the platforms as it is today. I thought Hi-Fi Rush was a huge hit.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting another Evil Within because I knew that was a little niche and a little bit old at this point. But Hi-Fi Rush was very hot when it stealth dropped, and it was so hot that it's now an ambassador on PlayStation for Xbox.
It's just, and then now you're shutting the team down? Alpha Dog, the studio behind Mighty Doom, will be closing too, with Mighty Doom closing down on August 7th. Quote, "We will be turning off the ability for players to make any purchases in the game," end quote, Booty said. Finally, Roundhouse Games, which itself was formed following the closure of Human Head Studios, will be closing down, and the team will be joining ZeniMax Online Studios. Roundhouse has played a key role in many of our recent game launches, and bringing them into the ZeniMax Online Studios to work on the Elder Scrolls Online will mean we can do even more to grow the world that millions of players call home, end quote, Booty wrote. Man. As well as the presumed layoffs at Arcane Austin, Tango Gameworks, and Alpha Dog, Booty also told staff that a smaller number of roles across selected Bethesda publishing and corporate teams will also be eliminated. These changes are not a reflection of the creativity and skill of the talented individuals at these teams, or the risks they took to try new things. Is it though? He added.
Who directed that risk?
Yeah. Quote, "I acknowledge that these changes are also disruptive to the various support teams across ZeniMax and Bethesda that bring our games to market. We are making these tough decisions to create captivity, to increase investment in other parts of the portfolio and focus on our priority games," end quote. But he went on to tell the staff that remains one of the key pillars of Xbox despite the team's closures. Quote, "As we align our plans and resources to best set ourselves up for the success in the complex and changing industry, our teams across Arcane Lion, Bethesda Game Studios, id Software, Machine Games, ZeniMax Online Studios, and the Bethesda publishing and corporate teams will be well positioned to build new IP, explore new game concepts, and expand on our existing franchises," end quote, he wrote. Microsoft confirmed in January that 1,900 staff would be laid off across Activision Blizzard, Bethesda, and Xbox. According to the head of gaming Phil Spencer, at the time the decision had been made after Microsoft and Activision Blizzard's leadership teams set priorities, identified areas of overlap, and ensured that we're all aligned on the best opportunities for growth, end quote. It's not yet clear if these newly announced Bethesda studio closures are considered part of these 1,900 layoffs or an entirely new set of cuts. Wow, Scott.
Man, just when you thought you were getting into the clear of it and we were past all these layoffs, there's no way. It's not done yet. And this is a huge number, a huge hit to Xbox. I like some of these studios. I loved some of these studios. Even things like Mighty Doom caught my eye back in the day.
Sure.
Cute little version of Doom was something I didn't know I liked, but this is awful.
Arcane Austin, just because of the way Redfall went down, I'm not that surprised if they are going to pick any of the studios, right? Redfall was an absolute disaster for Xbox. Did not go well. Things went down in such a terrible way. But the team over at Arcane, super talented team, and our hearts go out to everybody affected. Like, this is never a good thing. This hurts. Not only Xbox, not only the developers, but our industry as a whole, right? Like, this could have been, I would have thought, somehow resolved, give them another shot, but man, at the end of the day, it's business too, right? If you keep putting out games like Redfall and they keep making nothing, instead just keep sinking you in the hole, that's a problem. But the team already knew there, that was the thing, from what we've heard, right? The team working on Redfall knew the game had issues, knew the game was going to be in a bad position, that they didn't want it to go. They wanted to scrap it. Maybe they should have scrapped it. And I wonder if they would have, if they'd be in a different light. Now, getting into Tango Gameworks, Scott, dude, I'm shocked. I am shocked that they are getting closed down. I can't believe it, man. I thought Hi-Fi Rush was such a huge hit. Critically, I don't know how well it did commercially, but critically, man, it was like everybody loved it. I'm at this point, man, I'm so tired of hearing this.
How much of these people at Tango are going to be reorganized into the greater companies? Because after a hit like Hi-Fi Rush, or I say a hit, what's perceived to be a hit, Hi-Fi Rush, I hope they don't just scrap these people. They end up in part of the sea of people that are looking for jobs in the industry now.
No, exactly, right? Bethesda's a huge company. When they want to align themselves for new creative ideas, like IPs, and explore new concepts, I'm like, how far are you going to push that? Like, how far do you push that? Because when you pushed Redfall, look where that landed. So, do you really want to explore that? Starfield dropped. Everybody was on it day one, but now it's going quiet. We're now waiting for the update. New update next week? Week after?
1 week from now, I believe.
Right? So we're getting a new update for Starfield. Going to change a bunch of the features within the game. And then Shattered Space comes out sometime in the fall. Leads into some good opportunities there. But are they looking to get, okay, now let's shift some of these people over to 343. Work on Halo, right? Like, we've seen PlayStation align themselves to go, we're coming in for the heavy hitters only. Ubisoft, same thing, right? All Assassin's Creed. So all these, they're doing the safe bet is what seems to be coming across the board right now, where the riskier stuff is just now set aside really for the indies. Indies can flourish. The idea of, hey, we're a small team, we can create whatever we want because we don't have a big corporation like Microsoft or Xbox to say, hey, yeah, you know what, Redfall isn't going to cut it. You should maybe try something else, right? But maybe this gives them the time and the energy and the enthusiasm to make something special. Like we get a Hades 2 drop, right? When we get into the world of Hades, it's not because it's a massive team. It was somebody who had a cool idea. Dude, no rest for the wicked. I'm still playing it, right? Moon Studios, not a huge studio, but they're out there being creative, doing their own thing. I gotta love it, right? I love it. I love No Rest for the Wicked. And I'm hoping some of these things kind of transpire off of all of this being affected, all these people being closed and then transitioning. And this, it's just, will it stop? Like, we started 2024 on such another studio closed, another company closed, another closed, layoffs. I thought we were this close to being done, and then this drops. Dude.
Oh, I think this is the normal now. People being reorganized constantly and companies coming and going. And I don't know how we had it so good a few years ago.
Yeah, everybody's firing on all cylinders and everything's just happening so quick, so much going on. Everybody's in a great time. And now it seems like it's starting to taper off a little bit. I don't know. But we'll keep you up to date with anything that happens further, as this is right now just a rumor. Or at least, well, it seems pretty solid to us. But we'll keep you up to date. Hit us up, itgtv.com.